Hey, I'm Steve with Prima Coffee, and this is what we're brewing. So this is a little series where we bring you behind the scenes in the Prima office, and we talk about some coffees that we've been brewing, and we show you how we've been brewing them. In the first season of this, we're going to do pour over brewing, and the first one here is the Espro Bloom. So I have 20 grams of coffee here from Parlor. This is the Burundi Ninga. And I'm going to go ahead and grind this. I'm grinding this really fine. You can hear it too that it's actually on the lowest RPM on the Lagom because that produces the fewest fines, and we're using this for brewing and not for espresso. So just to give you an idea of how fine this is, you can kind of see there. It's north of espresso, but not by much. And we do that because we're able to extract really high with this Espro Bloom and not have any of the side effects that you might have grinding that fine, like a really muddy bed with other brewers. This is 20 grams of coffee. And we're just gonna do a 1:16 ratio here. And I have the water on 208 degrees. The Bloom I'm gonna start with is going to be 60 grams. I'm just gonna do 3 times the weight there of the coffee. And we've actually been using this tool as well. So this is a WDT tool that you may have seen. It's associated with the Lagom. So this comes with the Lagom. And we use it because we're grinding so fine. There is a tendency for the coffee to be clumped up and so there to be some dry coffee. And we did want to make sure right away that all the coffee and the water are coming together and incorporated, and there aren't any bubbles happening basically after the first couple of seconds. At 45 seconds, I'm gonna go ahead and pour all the way up to 200. And I try to pour here at about 5 to 6 milliliters per second. I'm actually a little faster now. And then just to kind of do circles, make sure that I'm working my way to the perimeter. You can move relatively fast as long as the flow rate of the kettle is still, relatively low. Once we put in that first one, we can give it a twirl, and then it'll start to draw down. At around 2 minutes or 1 minute and 50 seconds, we'll pour in the rest of that. So this coffee, like I said, is the Burundi Ninga from Parlor. We really like Parlor because they're sort of focus on transparency and sustainability and making sure that you know where the coffee comes from, paying the farmers high prices for these quality coffees. And this one in particular comes from the Long Miles Coffee Project that's on the ground there in Burundi. This is the first washing station they set up. That group just helps farmers, works with farmers to increase the quality of the coffee and therefore the prices that the farmers are getting. So 2 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and it's a little more than that. 2 minutes and 10 seconds, we're gonna pour in the rest. We're gonna go all the way up to 320. There's that. And once we got it there, we can go ahead and give it another swirl. And then it'll start to draw down. So we're finding that it's around 3 minutes, 30 seconds to 4 minutes, somewhere around there when we grind this fine with the Espro Bloom. And like I said, we are able to get really incredibly high extractions with this method of brewing. We've also experimented with using this tool again after that first pour to make sure there aren't any channels to sort of break things up after the first big pour up to 200 grams. But I generally have sort of gone against that. The extractions were higher even than what we're probably going to get now. But the coffee I don't think tasted as good. So as far as the tasting notes, Parlor's website is going to say that they're getting dried fruit, black tea, white currant. For us, we're saying it sort of tastes like sweet raisins, which we really like. And the longer this coffee has been sitting, so past roast, the better it has been getting. So our recommendation is you're gonna wait at least a week, but probably 2 weeks, so that this starts tasting really sweet. But let's go ahead and give it a taste. Yeah, that's really sweet. You can find this coffee on their website. We're gonna go ahead and link to it. We're also going to put the recipe that we use here up on the website, so you can check that out. We'll see you next time.